Seek the lofty by reading, hearing, seeing great work at some moment every day. Good words to live by. Let's get to the damn chart. Chainlink on the weekly. We looked at the support zone yesterday, put it out on Twitter, $3 to $5 support zone area, just because that's where the most volume has taken place over the past several years, right? Below this, we're at the top of this support zone now. But today, we're going to look at something a little bit differently, kind of flip it on its head, quite literally look at the inverted chart of Chainlink with the Gaussian channel on the weekly. Now, noting that this is turned red, but looking at from a different perspective from the underside, because most people love to focus on bull trends. That's where the majority of the herd comes back in once the bull trend has started, usually a little too late, but looking at the bullish side always, right? Just by inverting the chart in a bear market, you can really start to see, much more clear support and resistance levels, right? So if it's more difficult to see the support levels on a regular chart, flip it over and make it a resistance level, right? And that is pretty clear cut right now, right? So if we're starting a trend here, right? Uptrend here, right? Inverted downtrend, right? Go with me on that. Look at the how many we tested this back in May, right? Many months ago, and we've kind of held that as resistance ever since. So that's where we are. We're at the initial zone of this support level, right? And this can go all the way back to 2019. That's when we kind of started forming that from $3 to $5. So that's what we're looking at. Now, this is red. We are red. So in a bear market, obviously most coins are going to have a red Gaussian channel. We need to be waiting for confirmation where we get a little bit more comfortable. Now, you don't have to always wait on the weekly. Maybe you go to the 3-day and wait for that to turn green, which it's looked like it's trying to flatten out here. Now, by, short term, maybe we're looking at maybe sometime between now and, Q2, Q3, looking at midsummer, right? It's probably going to take some time. We're going to have to be above the $10 USD valuation for this channel to turn green on the 3-day. Then you can zoom out. The 5-day is really the secret sauce, but we don't need to look at that yet because we're well under it on the weekly. That's where I would maintain focus, at least at this point. So looking at the entirety of Chainlink on the weekly channel, Gaussian, right? We've turned red briefly. This is the most red we've been, but guess what? This is the one, the past 18 months have been Chainlink's one breath of air, right? It's just been chugging along, sprinting since inception for the most part. So it's allowed to have a cool off zone, and that's just where we are. And unfortunately for most people, they got trapped because they bought at, all-time highs or near to it. So most people that are upset have purchased somewhere in that triangle, right? So our triangle, learn your shapes, Chase. Let's go rectangle on that one. Let's go with that. And if you bought anywhere in this, don't beat yourself up. You just got caught, and you can make it right by starting to accumulate in this zone versus this zone, right? Make it different this time, right? Stop buying at the top, at the end of bull markets. Start buying at the bottom or end of bear markets. That should be clear cut, although it's the most difficult to do because of human emotion. It's not you, it's your stupid brain, right? That's just how it works. It's very difficult to buy when it seems like the bottom is never going to happen, right? And it's difficult to sell when it seems like the top is never going to end, right? That's just human psychology. But looking at this, right, clear cut, plain and simple on the weekly. Now let's flip out to the monthly. Flip it around, right? We're still green on the Gaussian. I mean, in a big way, right? We almost need to turn that shit off because it's massive, right? And now we can zoom in, put it back on auto, and now look at it, right? And that doesn't look so absolute bonkers crazy, right? Look at this trend that we're in, and we're just having a timeout, a breather before hopefully accumulation, right? At this part, and then, roll it back over, continue this primary trend, right? Flipping it back to the regular side, right? This does not look that abnormal if you, want to actually examine this and think about where Chainlink has gone, right? Nothing but up until, right, you probably bought, right, in this area, right? Now we're just cooling off for, right, a long time. If you have little perspective, right? We're cooling off, and then what's going to happen next, right? Bear cycle, bull cycle, right? It's coming back. 1, 2, 3, right? Primary trend is up for years, right? We're taking a breather, downtrend. It's absolutely normal. This is where we are. Scribble, scrabble. and we'll get back to happy times again if you have the guts to start accumulating your favorite coins, not just Chainlink, but after coins are down 90% from all-time highs, those are generally good places to start coming back into the market, right? Plain and simple. And looking at Chainlink, right, the massive uptrend has ended for momentarily, right? Take 12, 18 months off, and then we'll get back to it, right? We'll get happy times again are coming. Mind you, I don't know where I'm going with that, right? You got it. No, so that is the regular chart and inverted, right? Sometimes great to see. Makes it a little bit easier to see that level, right? I mean, just look at it, right? It's hard to argue that that's really not going to put up a fight for resistance if we're in a bull market, but, flipping it back around, right? It's, $5 to $3 is the clear-cut level if we go lower. Now, one more thing, right? Let's put it back on here and let's see how much would we go down? Like, that might be a good question to see. Why would we go down that far? Well, if Bitcoin drops a good bit, let's imagine. Let's go flip the Bitcoin chart real quick. Maybe this will help someone out there, right? Let's say your favorite YouTuber says we're going to 10K Bitcoin, right? So let's see what that drawdown might be. Let's go to 10K, and just for shits and giggles, it's 40%, right? So most altcoins, if Bitcoin goes down 40%, most altcoins will get hit a little bit harder than that. Or let's just go with that, right? Let's go back to Chainlink now. And what would 40% drawdown from here look like? Well, I'm glad you asked. 40% takes us right to that $3.50, $3 to $3 to $3 to $5 level, right? It's like you can't make it up, right? So the only way Chainlink is going down here is if Bitcoin goes to 10K, right? If Bitcoin bottoms out at 14K, 15K, or the bottom is in, then most altcoins aren't going down any more than they did in, May or June area. Now, could we get a wick down here? Sure, right? Wicks are just where the price goes in a flash, right? The closing candles, not likely to go below this. We could get a wick into here. We could get a wick to the top of here, right? The wicks and if we get a quick Band-Aid ripoff, something absolute bonkers, batshit crazy, then sure, nobody knows, right? But closing candles, this is the clear cut level on, right side up, wrong side up, upside down, your mother. So that's Chainlink wrapped up in a nutshell. You got the quote of the day. Let's do the car of the day before I get in any more trouble. Looking at Porsche 911 GT3. Great car, great Porsche. Fight me. That's it. Hopefully you learned something. If you didn't, I don't care. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Follow us on Twitter, Telegram, all linked below. We have fun, right? That's all we got to do in life. Put a smile on your face. Shut up.